Good day, Professor Bandalaria and classmates, and welcome to my report, Corporate Communications in Historical Perspective, Marketing, Public Relations, and Corporate Communications. The objectives of this presentation are the following. Trace the beginnings of communications management, identify the integration drivers of communications management, and lay down the foundation of corporate communications and communications management. Communications discipline and techniques evolve given the emerging changes of socio-economic landscapes of the people. For instance, Cornelissen in 2004 argues that there are even changes in the nature of the communications process itself from downright persuasion and propaganda to a more open and symmetrical dialogue between an organization and important groups in its environment. The first subtopic of my report is about the birth of communications management. Odago in 2021 defines communication management as the deliberate art of planning, executing, monitoring, and improving communication processes within a team, project, or organization. Going back to how communications management was given birth, the field has two dominant perspectives or colonization of communications management, and these are public relations and marketing, which actually preceded the premise of corporate communications. Broom and Dozier in 1983 assert that public relations is concerned with relations with various publics who actually affect organizational survival and growth. The Chartered Institute of Marketing in 2015 defines marketing as the management process that is responsible for identifying, anticipating, and satisfying customer requirements profitably. Cornelissen in 2004 asserts that both the public relations and marketing functions have sprung from the understanding on the purview of organization in order to prosper, needs to be concerned with issues of public concern, which is the context of public relations, as well as with ways of effectively bringing products to markets, which is the context of marketing, have to be streamlined. From this diagram, it can be deduced from the historical dimension that public relations and marketing have established its unique identities based on purpose, content, and communication flow. Towards 1990, both led to the creation of corporate communications where the strengths of each function are actually integrated. Although viewed as distinct and distinguishable, but marketing and public relations can be complementary. This fusion equates to being marketing public relations, or to what Kitchen in 1993 has coined middle-of-the-road approach. This is like shooting two birds using one stone. Back in 2008, while working as a communications consultant in a private firm in Manila in the Philippines, I was able to perform marketing public relations by writing a news article of our company's community relations activity and had it published on a national broadsheet. Harris in 1991 contends that marketing public relations is a cost-effective tool for generating awareness and imagery and in imbuing the communications of the organization's brands with credibility. So the second subpart of my topic is about communications management comes of age. It is said that the fusion between the public relations and marketing management further developed to what has been attributed by communication professionals as integration between the two disciplines, again the public relations and marketing, which Cornelissen in 2004 refers to be instrumental in achieving the best possible communications impact for an organization and its products with its external audiences. So this integration intensifies the emergence of corporate communication, which resulted from a variety of drivers. These drivers, according to Cornelissen, can be grouped into three. First is the market and environment-based drivers. Second, the organization drivers. And lastly, the communication-based drivers. So the examples of market and environment-based drivers are stakeholder roles, societal and market demands, increased competition, greater levels of audience communications literacy, greater amounts of message clutter, and media and audience fragmentation. Now, for organization drivers are those driven by opportunities, changes, and needs from within the organization that would include improved efficiency, like increasing profits, increased accountability, provision of a strategic direction and purpose through consolidation, corporate and organizational positioning, and streamlining of activities in complex organizations, be it global, multinational, or multi-divisional businesses. And lastly, the communication-based drivers. These are those that arise from the communications mix and communication technologies. Examples could be like increased message effectiveness through consistency and reinforcement of core messages, the need to build corporate and or brand reputations and to provide clear identity cues, complementarity of communications techniques and media cost inflation, and media multiplication, which requires control of communication channels. Now, these drivers are our aid in understanding how integration has changed, how integration changes, and how integration will continue to change the landscape of communications management. And the third subpart of my report is about the corporate communications and communications management. On the basis of the foregoing, there have been a number of organizations that continue to approach their communications from an integrated perspective, more specifically within the parlance of corporate communication. First one is greater consolidation of communications disciplines. So this means that various communications disciplines have been consolidated into departments. Like say for example, media relations, government relations, employee communications, or even community relations are consolidated into the public relations domain. And cases like the branding, advertising, promotions, or even direct marketing are placed within marketing department. Second, increased coordination from a corporate perspective. This is giving weight on managerial framework where public relations and marketing, though still organized into separate departments, are actually guided and are well coordinated. Third, more input of communications into management decision making. Over the past decades, corporate communication practitioners have struggled to gain attention from the top management. This is according to Person in 1993. On one hand, Cornelissen in 2004 maintains that communication professionals now enjoy top management positions. Fourth, the rise of the corporate communications manager. It is actually the rise of a new style manager who is able to take a more strategic and holistic perspective on communications and bridges the conventional gap between public relations and marketing. And lastly, the adoption of the vocabulary and concepts of corporate communications. In this context, corporate communications became the new face of public relations and marketing. It is in part political, given that it is central to stakeholder, identity, and reputation, which have become on top of the professional agenda. So in summary, retracing the footprint of the early beginnings of corporate communications management serves as our cornerstone in understanding its now, its whys, and its wherefores. So for readings, you may consider my references. These are my references. And for my discussion points, so kindly engage in this intellectual discussion by answering any of the discussion points. Number one, Cornelissen in 2004, Group Corporate Communications Integration Drivers into 3, Market and Environment-Based Drivers. organization drivers, and communication-based drivers. Cite any other or emerging drivers which may help corporate communications to thrive. And secondly, apart from public relations and marketing, identify another communication discipline which can be integrated in corporate communication practice. Thank you and can't wait for your engagement.